The Senate Intelligence Committee has just wrapped up closed-door meetings on what to do next as far as General Petraeus is concerned, what to do next as far as the Benghazi investigation is concerned. Our senior congressional correspondent, Dana Bash, has been speaking with some of the members. Dana's joining us right now. What are you learning?
Well, Senator Dianne Feinstein, who is the chairwoman of the Intelligence Committee, told you earlier in the show, Wolf, that she wants former director David Petraeus to come and talk to the Intelligence Committee about what he knows about what happened in Benghazi. And there was a meeting just behind me of all the members of the Intelligence Committee, and Feinstein came out and told me that they all did decide that that is appropriate, that it is appropriate for Petraeus to come and talk to them. We heard from the White House earlier today that they believe that what the current or the acting director of the CIA knows about Benghazi is good enough, and that they don't necessarily need to hear from Petraeus. But clearly, on a bipartisan level, the senators here disagree. In fact, Feinstein told me that she believes that there is a big stone left unturned if they don't talk to Petraeus. Now, when is that going to happen? Earlier today, she told me that she was hoping it would happen as early as Friday, but just now she said that they just have to wait in order to talk to him first about when he can come, but they are hoping it's going to be very soon. And so that is the news here. One other thing that is interesting, you know, that there has been a lot of anger here on Capitol Hill that members of the Intelligence Committee, at least what they call the Big Four, the chair and ranking members of the House and Senate Intelligence Committee, weren't briefed at all about this investigation of David Petraeus as it was going on. Saxby Chambliss, the top Republican, just told our Ted Barrett that they are going to get a briefing from the number 2 at the FBI about why that didn't happen. And we expect something similar on the House side as well tomorrow. Yeah, they take their oversight responsibilities very seriously. Dana, thanks very, very much for that. Just days after General David Petraeus stepped down as the CIA director, the investigation that uncovered his affairs certainly put a cloud over another 4-star general, John Allen. Petraeus and Allen, 2 top military men, caught in a drama fresh out of a soap opera. Let's go right to our Pentagon correspondent, Chris Lawrence. Chris, is this kind of thing an isolated problem? Is there a widespread issue growing in the military? What's going on?
Well, it's a great question, Wolf, because you don't hire a flag officer to kick down doors and shoot bad guys. They're given the highest pay and the best perks for their judgment. And for a growing number of them, that judgment's been flawed.
They are the elite few, the generals and admirals who rose to the highest ranks of the military.
I will do my utmost to serve.
But the shine is off the stars, and it goes beyond retired General David Petraeus.
I can think of no better role, no more noble task.
The Defense Secretary just demoted 4-star General Kip Ward and ordered him to repay the government over $80,000. Investigators found he used his rank to shuttle his wife on shopping sprees, enjoyed a lavish beachfront trip, and once accepted a defense contractor's gift of going backstage to meet Denzel Washington.
We're gonna roll it, okay?
What do you mean roll it?
Gotta do something to stop this guy. Here we go.
Brigadier General Jeffrey Sinclair is now being court-martialed for sodomy and other sex crimes at Fort Bragg. The military says when subordinates called him out on his attitude towards women, he allegedly said, quote, "I'm a general. I'll do whatever the bleep I want." It makes General Stan McChrystal's comments about his bosses pale in comparison. Words in Rolling Stone that cost him his job in 2010.
The problem is that there's a cascade of these right now.
Retired General Spidermark says as an officer moves through the ranks, there are mechanisms in place that reinforce the military's values. But at the top, a lot of those checks and balances have fallen by the wayside, isolating the flag officer.
It's a thing called hubris. I mean, at some point, you think the rules just simply don't apply to you.
Military experts say that sense of entitlement sets a dangerous precedent for younger troops.
If we have a military that doesn't have a firm basis in understanding how important moral, ethical behavior and decision-making are to their daily actions and in terms of leadership, then that kind of puts everything in question.
These are truly aberrations.
Despite the lapses of judgment, Spidermarks believes military culture is still sound.
Look at the hundreds, the thousands of very senior officers at multiple levels who have served with incredible dignity.
Yeah, without a doubt, that is true. There are 1.4 million troops, but flag officers, fewer than 950. So generals and admirals make up the tiniest of tiny fractions of the military. So when you see 5, 6, 7 showing bad judgment, that's actually a larger percentage than you might initially think, Wolf.
Chris Lawrence, thanks very much. Let's dig a little bit deeper right now with our national security contributor, Fran Townsend, the former Bush Homeland Security Advisor. She's also a member of the CIA's External Advisory Committee. What are these military leaders doing wrong here? What's going on from your vantage point, Fran?
Well, Wolf, I think we do have to make real distinctions between an officer facing charges of sodomy and whether it's flirtatious emails or extramarital affairs. I'm not excusing that bad behavior, but as you appreciate, there are serious qualitative differences here. But look, I think Chris is right to say what I think the military needs to do is step back for a moment and look at the kinds of sort of problems in terms of judgment calls that some of these officers have faced, whether it's sexual improprieties or it's financial improprieties or crimes, that is, violations of the Code of Military Justice. And you have to ask yourself, you know, if there's a policy in corporate America that's important, you have to get retrained on it every year. Lawyers have to take, every 2 years here in New York State, they have to take professional responsibility courses, spend hours being retrained. And frankly, if I was General Marty Dempsey, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, right now, I'm sort of surprised he hasn't stepped out about this. Part of that is because some of these cases are under review right now. But you have to say to yourself, we need to then reinforce military ethics and our code of conduct. If we want it to be taken serious at the highest levels, we need to make sure that they're touching that code of conduct and being spoken to about it on a regular, if not annual basis. And I suspect that you will see the chairman and vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs speak to the combatant commanders, speak to the service chiefs about how to reinforce that from the most senior officers in the United States military straight on down through the ranks.
So what should the role of the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, be?
Well, I think he's going to look every year. The president has a conference where he pulls together all of the combatant commanders and all of the most senior military leaders. And I'm quite sure, Wolf, when they sit down, there's a dinner and then they spend half a day together at least. I expect on the agenda this year, the president, the commander-in-chief, will be talking about the importance of the military code of conduct and their ethical behavior.
Do you think the worst of this petraeus scandal is now known, or is there more that's still going to be coming out?
You know, Wolf, the thing gosh knows, I hope and wish it would be over. I think the piece about the Petraeus-Broadwell affair is done. I think we should wait to make too much out of the John Allen. There may be inappropriate or flirtatious emails. We've heard again and again that people are saying there was not an affair there. But I think the thing that we don't understand is the fact is the FBI has said that there is not going to be criminal charges against Broadwell or Petraeus, except they conducted, you know, a 6-hour search and brought out reams of documents. There's a reason for that, and we don't know what that is. We don't really understand the full import of Jill Kelly and her many relationships. I think we have to assume it's not just with Dave Petraeus and John Allen. She had access to all sorts of senior military leaders in the Tampa, which was CENTCOM, the Special Operations Command. And I suspect that they're looking at whether or not she was just sort of a bored socialite, as General Allen's spokesperson suggested, or whether she was being sort of directed by a foreign intelligence service.
Which is a serious allegation, obviously.
Absolutely.
One final question, and quickly, if you could give me a good answer. This FBI agent who supposedly leaked all this to that Republican congressman from Washington State, Congressman Dave Reichert, did he do anything wrong? Did he violate FBI rules? Did he violate any criminal laws, if you will, out there?
You know, Wolf, there's a process inside the FBI for him to raise those concerns. We don't know whether or not he did that, but if he failed to raise it internally and simply went directly, he may have violated certainly internal policy of the FBI, and it remains to be seen whether or not there's a legal problem there.
Fran Townsend, thanks very much.
Thanks, Wolf.
We'll have more on this story. She's the woman behind the FBI investigation that brought down General David Petraeus. But who exactly is Jill Kelly? Up next, we'll have a live report from right outside her home in Tampa.